Are we still going to be getting those weird hybrid paradox legendaries? Hey all you nerds, Gabe, aka Froopy Art here, and in the reveal trailer for the Scarlet and Violet DLC, we got a look at Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, which do look a bit different from the images shown in the Scarlet and Violet books. But I'm hoping that those aren't the last of the hybrid paradox legendaries that we'll see. If that's the case, what could we get from the other generations? Let's find out. Starting with Gen 1, of course. The legendary birds were perfect for this. I wasn't sure initially if we should go with a past or future form, but since the manga once had like a weird three-headed abomination fusion of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, I figured we would go in the opposite direction and do a future form. This proved to be a fairly straightforward design, at least compared to some of the other legendaries that I'll be making, since these are all at least roughly the same shape. They're just birds. It was just about getting some identifiable features from each. So Articuno's tail, and the Galar form's eyes, Zapdos' spiky wings and head, and of course Moltres' fiery wings. And here we have Iron Engines. With its massive engines, this Pokemon hovers and surveys its surroundings. It bears a striking resemblance to the legendary birds of Kanto and Galar, and I thought that Flying Steel felt pretty appropriate for this guy. Yeah, it's looking pretty neat, but let me know what you think. Alright, now, since we've already got Johto representation in the games, let's jump forward to Gen 3. I knew this would be a serious challenge, but I just had to take on combining Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. This is where it gets tough since they all have such different body plans. I did know that I wanted to do a past form and tie in some of the primal reversion imagery into it. Like, this is a single Pokemon that could soar about and bring the seas and continents into place. I think I ended up with an overall shape that doesn't feel too awkward while still working in Kyogre's fins, Groudon's tail, and Rayquaza's arms, with a few more subtle details sprinkled throughout. Getting the glowing insides felt right for these, but I knew I'd have to add some extra texture to the skin so that it didn't feel too smooth. You know, it needs to look rough and not futuristic. It still kind of rides that line, but I like it. Here is Ancient Creator. This massive dragon is able to summon earthquakes and tidal waves as it pleases. Its ability to shape the world has drawn similarities to Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. And to just play up, like the lump of rock that Earth was early on, it's getting the rock typing. And as a big fan of Rayquaza, I enjoy this quite a bit. But let's hop forward to the next generation and tackle some Lake Guardians. And again, this is just much easier since they all look pretty similar to start. Having that form to work from was great. Oh, and I figured it would be awesome to take the gem that's on their heads and have that open up into a third eye. They are psychic type after all. Though, I always felt that the trio should have gotten the fairy type after it was introduced, so we'll be giving it that as well. I gotta say, these are my first Paradox forms that I've ever drawn. I was pretty intimidated by the future forms in particular, but they ended up being a lot more fun to draw than I expected. Alright, here is Iron Spectrum. This speedy sprite enjoys acting as a muse. Through some strange means, it is able to manipulate the emotions, willpower, and knowledge of others. Researchers have noted a resemblance to the late Guardians of Sinnoh, and it is just pretty stinking cute, which I'm glad I could squeeze some cute into these designs. But how about we continue on to Gen 5? For something a bit more intimidating. Yet again, for this past Paradox form, we've got 3 completely different types of animals. Yikes, spikes. But by using Xerneas's sharp back legs and distinct antlers, and Yveltal's wings as giant strong hands, and, then Zygarde's general head shape and fantail. I mean, technically Zygarde's got 2 other forms that I could have incorporated, but there's enough going on here. Yeah. The colors kicked my butt, which is a recurring theme with these designs, but we ended up with something that feels pretty good. Here is Cruel Judge. This wild beast has control over life and death itself, and decides the fate of others with little thought or reasoning. Its appearance is quite similar to the legends of the Kalos region. And I had the most trouble with typing this guy. I liked the ground from Zygarde, and normal, I just wasn't sure, like life getting put in the ground and the death and the lifiness. I don't know. If you have other ideas for what this could have been typed, let me know. It does look decidedly ferocious, and I'm here for that. Alright, but we can't stop now. Let's check out some Alola inspiration. The Tapus were just begging to become a future Paradox mechanical monster. Those capsule-like panels were easy to convert into overlapping metal plates. Now, pulling in specific design details from 4 different Pokemon was going to end up being a little all over the place, so instead I focused on getting the feel of a Tapu while letting it be bigger and badder. And as far as making sure that it still felt like a Tapu, honestly, the distinct eye coloring does an awful lot. Oh, and making the LED light eyes on this was super fun, like a great challenge. Okay, here is Iron Protector. This sentinel travels the land protecting nature with extreme force. Its segmented body and protective nature appear to be related in some way to the guardian deities of the Alola region, and a fighting fairy type felt pretty appropriate here. Okay, one more design to go, and as our last Paradox form, I just had to go with the legendary doggos and dragon from the Galar region. I had this design pop into my head right away. By incorporating the flat head and sharp tail of Eternatus, I was able to give our doggo an actual sword and shield. Yeah, pretty proud of that one. And having the bits of Eternatus kind of growing on the body makes it feel crazed and unstable, which I just love for a past Paradox form. Alrighty, let's take a look at Feral Knight. This wild and unpredictable beast uses unnatural protrusions to attack and defend all it encounters. Its appearance and unique fighting style have drawn similarities to the legends from the Galar region. And having the poison type from Eternatus along with a fighting type felt just perfect here. Yeah, pretty awesome if I do say so myself, but you'll have to let me know what you think of all these hybrid Paradox legendaries. Would you want any of these to make an appearance in the DLC? And which is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And, I don't know, who knows, maybe I'll do some more of these in the future if y'all enjoy them. And hey, consider subscribing, it would really help the channel out. Alrighty, I'll catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.